And with the addition of these 2 metal raised beds to my garden, I think I can officially call myself a garden influencer, especially because the company Vego Garden sent me these for free to try out and make a video about, which is kind of surprising to me because I haven't always been kind to the idea of raised beds in general. Do not make a tall raised bed. If you're starting a garden and can grow in the ground, grow in the ground. You don't need a raised bed. Home growers, people who have gardens in their backyard, do a lot of things that are unsustainable. One would be raised beds. And when they sent them, I said, I'm gonna make a video, but you don't get sign off on what I say. You need to give me some time to actually use these raised beds, and I'm gonna talk about everything, good and bad. So let's get started with the review. First thing, the setup. When the boxes arrived to my house, I was surprised by how small they were, but all the pieces are nested together very snugly in the box. The directions are pretty straightforward. The website says that it only takes 40 minutes to put the beds together. Yeah, that's not right, and you'll see why here in a second. Initially, I was going to set these up on the grass, but then soon realized that with all the little nuts and bolts, I better do it in the pavement. You start off by taking all the pieces out and setting them up in the orientation of the bed. And once they're all laid out, you start removing this plastic film. This was absolutely the worst part of the process. There's plastic film on both sides to protect the panels from getting scratched during transport. I understand it's important that they can get easily scratched because, this metal on the corners is pretty pokey. But it was a pain to remove and didn't love the generating of the plastic. But I don't really think that there is a better way to do it and have them fit in such a small box. And then once all the plastic is removed, you start bolting it all together. All the nuts and bolts come in one bag, and there are a few different types. So I dumped them out into a planter tray and separated them to make setup a little bit easier. And as a bonus, it does come with the one of 2 tools that you need to set it up, the other being a screwdriver. And everything goes together pretty easily. There is a different type of nut that goes on the top 2 bolts that's up near the surface. And this is a nice little attention to detail because this is where you would be putting your hands in as you're digging around in your raised bed. So there's no sharp edges up there. I really like that. Then once you have it all put together, you remove 2 nuts so you can then insert this support rod that helps the bed from bowing out once you fill it full of material. Then the nice protective edge guard on top, just pressing it down all the way around and then cutting off a little bit of excess, and that's it. Well, the first one took me an hour and a half, and the second one was easier, but unfortunately not that easy. It took about 45 minutes. Thankfully, I had my wife helping remove all the film, which was my biggest gripe with the whole process. But now, you gotta figure out how to orient them in this space, and then the fun part of leveling and filling them. But that's gonna happen in a different day. It took me a while to figure out exactly where I wanted these placed, the orientation of the raised beds. First, I thought I was gonna make an L shape, but decided against that. And it was really important for me to make sure I loved where they were because they're right in front of our house. So every time we look out our front windows, we see these raised beds. And then it came time to leveling and filling these raised beds, which is something I was not excited about because of their height. I think that's always been my biggest gripe with a raised bed like this. Starting off, my area was pretty level, but not as level as I wanted it to be. I was trying to avoid any settling like I had with my other raised beds in my backyard. But after fighting with it, I got it good enough. Good enough is what I was going with my leveling. Then I started laying down cardboard to kill and suppress the grass and weeds in the area, position them where I wanted them, and then started filling them up. First starting with logs. Now, because of what I plan to plant in here, I don't need the full root zone depth, so starting off with logs was good for me. Following with the logs, I then topped it off with wood chips to fit in all those nooks and crannies. One thing I didn't think about with the height of this raised bed is that I couldn't use my wheelbarrow to just dump right into it. So I had to kind of move it in by hand, then use buckets to get these filled up. But I mean, it wasn't the hardest thing. It was just, would have been easier to be able to dump straight in with my wheelbarrow. Thankfully, I already had the logs, wood chips, dirt, and compost on my property. If I was buying the soil to fill this up, it would be rather expensive if I was filling it all the way up with bagged soil. So if you can in your area, definitely get a bulk order of raised bed mix from a local nursery supply store. That'll be much cheaper to have a dump truck of this stuff dropped off if you can deal with it. But that's the way I would do it. I didn't have to do that though, because I said I already had it. Now after these were all filled up and I leveled them a little bit, I decided to leave them be and settle. Luckily, we were gonna have some rain over the next few days, but that rain turned out to be a whole lot more than I was expecting. Now that we've survived our deluge of rain, the beds are nice and settled, or as settled as they are gonna be this season. They'll break down over time and sink, but I think it's finally ready for planting. And I already went ahead and sunk in one planter of mint that I started from seed last year. That planter again is going to help keep it contained. I've got some lemon balm back in my garden that I'm going to be dividing up and planting one of those in one of the planters that I sunk in. And then I have some anise hyssop that I planted in front of my house that I'm going to relocate into the bed. And then after that, I have lots of different herbs and flowers, all for making tea, that I've started indoors, that I've been hardening off, and I'm going to get those into the bed as well. Well, now that I have built the raised beds, filled the raised beds, and started planting out, I think I am ready to give my final verdict, or at least pros and cons about raised beds in general, and some of the stuff I definitely like about these raised beds. First, let me start with the pros. Once they were built, they were lightweight and easy to move around, so I could figure out my exact orientation. And they do look great. I'm really pleased with the color that I picked out and how it looks against my green building behind me, how it blends well or ties in well with the orange brick of our house. And the aesthetic was really important to me because these are in the front of our house and I built them out to be an herb and tea garden as kind of a play area for our daughter, Rachel. Because this is in the front of our house, I envision this being the space where she goes out to play, where we can easily keep an eye on her by looking out the window, and that she can play around in here, that she can eat anything in here, and it's not going to be bad for her. Some of the things like feverfew, I've recently learned, don't taste that great, but they're not going to harm her. Because I went to all the trouble to build out this in front of my house, I really want it to last. Vego Garden says that these will last for 20 plus years, which is great. Of course, I haven't had these for 20 years, but I do think that they are going to hold up pretty well. Now, one thing that could be good or bad would be heat. Because these are metal raised beds, I do wonder if they will heat up. In the springtime, it could be very good for them to warm up the soil sooner by collecting that heat because they are metal. But then that also could be a con, which is the perfect segue into some of the cons that you could experience with the metal raised bed. One of my biggest concerns with metal raised beds would be the cost, or at least the perception that if someone's going to start getting into gardening, this is where they need to start, because the cost can be rather prohibitive for something like this. This is almost a premium product. If you can grow in the ground, grow in the ground. And there are lots of other options for raised beds that would be much cheaper than this, starting off. And actually, I wanted to kind of do a comparison of a raised bed like this, a metal one, versus wood. So if you got one of the Vego Garden raised beds that's a 4x8 that is 11 inches high, that would be $220. But they're supposed to last for 20 plus years. So if you built the same thing out of untreated wood, 2x12s, right now at Lowe's, they're $15.58. So you need 3 of them to make the same size. So that would be $46.74. If the wood lasts 5 years before it rots out, it needs to be replaced. Over the 20 years, that would be $186.96. But that's at current wood prices, which are going to continue to go up. It's not accounting for your time of disassembling and rebuilding new ones every 5 years. But the Vego is a little bit more expensive, but it's only, what is that, $33.04 more. So for that amount of difference, to have something that does look nice, that will hold up, that you don't have to rebuild, it is pretty comparable to a wooden raised bed. Now, with this one, the edges are not sharp. I would be concerned for some of the other ones that I have seen online, some of the very cheap ones that you can find on various websites. I like that it's rounded on the nuts right here, so no concerns there. Rusting, they say that these will not rust. I have seen videos of the very cheap raised beds, the galvanized ones, that do rust, especially at the points where the bolts go through. Because with galvanization only works if it isn't nicked, if there aren't any areas where the rust can get past that galvanization, because it is a coating on the outer edge. So if they do the galvanization, then drill through for those places, you're going to get rust through there, and it'll actually just chew through the bed. So rust can be a problem with some of the cheaper ones. I don't think it'll happen, but time will tell. This isn't a long-term review. I would need many years to give a true long-term review. Some things that I might be concerned about would be that rust, color wear. If they do bow out, I don't think it will with the support rod. I've picked plants that are appropriate for my raised bed with the root zone and that it's deep enough. But those are things that you might want to consider about when thinking about a metal raised bed. So now the question is, would I recommend these raised beds? If I had to purchase them myself and were not given them for free, would I buy them? Yes. And interestingly enough, before Vego reached out, I was looking at these exact raised beds in this exact color to buy for this exact purpose in front of my house. So I was very pleased that they reached out and I got to try these out for free. I would definitely buy something like this again, and I'm already looking at a few of their other products to do a raised bed planter right in front of our door. I think that these are a great choice for someone who needs a higher raised bed, who wants something that does look visually nice, maybe that is in a high traffic area. Not to say that my wood raised beds don't look good, they're definitely a more rustic feel, but if these work for you and fit what you're looking for, I think it's a great option. But I don't think it's the only option. Plant in the ground if you can. You can go with wood raised beds. There are a lot of different things. Don't think that this is what you have to do to start growing your own food. There's a lot of ways to do it cheaper. These are great though. I do like them. If you want to buy one, there's a link down below. It's an affiliate link. I do get some percentage back. I want to be transparent about that, but I do think it also gives you a % off as well if there's a discount. I'll include all that information down below because I can't readily recall it right now. My name is Tyler Lloyd. I wish you the very best. Let me know in a comment down below what's something that maybe I didn't talk about that you're interested in. If I know the answer, I will respond, or even if I don't know the answer, I'll respond and tell you I don't know. I try to respond to as many comments as I can. Thank you very much for watching. Again, my name is Tyler Lloyd, and I wish you the very best. See you later.